This video is not intended for kids.
Cronus Network.
Hello, I'm Gabe, and this is my Filmcast. Today we are going to discuss, we're going to discuss Black Christmas. I want to get right into it, so Holly, drop us some context, won't you?
Sure thing, Gabe. Let's do this. A group of sorority sisters are stalked by a stranger during their Christmas break. One of the sorority sisters discovers that the killer is part of an underground college conspiracy. Basically, there may be some supernatural shenanigans afoot, and there's a body count mounting. Gabe, this is a remake of sorts, as the original Black Christmas was released in 1974. The original film is considered somewhat of a classic, having predated Halloween and established many contemporary horror movie tropes. This update seems to borrow the setting and the basic premise. It's kind of a slasher horror film, but it suggests there is more going on than you would think. This film is a bit of a wild card, and I couldn't guess if you will enjoy it. I will say you are likely intrigued.
All right, she's absolutely right. I am intrigued. However, my expectations for Black Christmas aren't very high. I don't have a particular amount of reverence for the original, but I do want this movie to be good, so I'm going to go in with a hopeful mind, leave my expectations or my lack of expectations at the door, and hope that I get a pretty solid horror movie, because horror really is something that is difficult to do. Well, good horror is something that's difficult to do. I mean, horror movies are a dime a dozen, but very few are just like really good gems that you can place on the crown of horror and gaze upon for years to come. This is a very rare animal. So if I go in with that expectation, I'm probably going to be disappointed. But if I go in just for a fun kind of thrill ride, maybe it'll meet my expectation. Let's find out. Let's go check out this flick.
Let's all go to the movies. Let's all go to the movies. Wow. All right, so doesn't mean the movie's gonna suck, but it's not a good sign. I may as well put my feet up.
All right, so I just got done watching Black Christmas. Well, that was a movie. It's a movie in that it has a beginning, an end, and a middle. Things happen. It's on film. So in that regard, it's a movie. Listen, I went into this flick with low expectations. The only reason why this movie popped up on my radar is because I heard there was a supernatural element to it and some psychological aspects that might be fun to play with in a horror context. So I was excited about that, but I left my expectations at the door and I just expected fun little romp, with some cool concepts mixed in. That's not what I got. This film begins with that promise. It begins with the promise of, hey, this could actually be pretty cool, be pretty special, and somewhat original, kinda, and doesn't have to be terribly original, but at least fun. It fails miserably at doing this. About halfway through the movie, it's almost like the script, the director, everyone involved with the creation of this movie just said, the heck with it. This is Blumhouse. We're going to make money on this thing one way or another. So we don't really have to do anything more here. Let's just be incredibly lazy with the writing. Do nothing at all worth talking about. And then end it in just a very vague, kind of pointless, but basically I'm trying to be nice here, guys. Basically, this movie is crap. This movie is crap. Don't go see this movie. This movie is crap. And for all of you who are used to my giving really positive-oriented reviews, I have to say I can't do that here. This movie had potential. It had potential. It could have been something cool, but it's not. It's crap. It's crap. Crap, 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 crap. Anyway, I'm going to go home and cut this review, and we can talk about the particulars of this crap.
So, this film has a premise that sounds fun and like it could be a horror driven thrill ride. Basically, sorority sisters versus toxic male cultists. I mean, you would think the flick would lean heavy into that, but it doesn't. It spends lots of time creating an atmosphere of toxic masculinity, but it's kind of heavy handed about it. The sisterhood is paint by numbers, and I don't really feel the bond. That needed to be there for this whole thing to work. The flick does deal with some dark elements of abuse and rape, and for a while I thought we were going to get a solid flick. A story of a victim coming into her power. I can see that was the intent, but the execution fell flat. The pacing was inconsistent, and it actually felt like a much longer film. Various characters were unnecessary, and existed just so that the film could suggest, see, not all men are bad. I really wanted to see Cary Elwes have a sinister role in this film. He is perfect for that sort of thing, and he was wasted here. He does a solid job, but nothing that I will remember as I think back on his roles. This is due to no fault of his own. He did the best with what he was given. One character I grew fond of was Riley, played well by Imogen Potts. But her arc was not fulfilled in a satisfying way. It was dropped hard during a lackluster climax. Ultimately, I can't recommend this flick. It's a hard pass for me, and if forced to give it a rating, I would go 4.5. I'm done. Holly, let's get out of here.
Well, that sums it up nicely. This has been Gabe's Filmcast. Please hit like, subscribe, and share this with other film fans. Let's build a film community together.